friend, do you know how to cook? Did you know that about yourself? I bet you didn't. Let me tell you something. Cooking's all about following the recipe, right? But these recipes, they're so convoluted for no reason. So I thought I'd just be your translator for today. So, by popular demand, we're gonna make peri peri chicken, right here. The author of this dish is named Megan Elam. So shout out to Megan, shout out to Mad Creations for this recipe. The link is down below. If you guys made it this far into the video, please, please, please subscribe. It's gonna do a lot for my channel. You know what, I don't know a lot about the technicalities of cooking, but if you like storytelling, if you like personality, if you like, I don't know, smile, laugh, a relatable buddy, I wanna be that buddy for you. So please join my community. So the things we're gonna need you to gather are olive oil, chili flakes, garlic, half a cup of minced red bell pepper. It's called a red capsicum or something like that on the recipe, but it's a bell pepper essentially. We're gonna need red wine vinegar, Thai chili flakes. I used a Serrano chili because that was what I had available to me, but if you can find the Thai chili flake, then go with that. You're gonna need smoked paprika, 1 lime, because we're gonna need to juice that thing. And then we're gonna need salt and pepper. So we're gonna put all of these ingredients right here into a blender of some sorts. Now, I have a Ninja Bullet. Just makes sense for me for small batch marinades and things like this. But if you have a bigger blender, that's cool. If you have like one of those hand emulsion blenders, that'll work. If you have like, I don't know, a food processor, that's cool. If you don't have any of those things and you have like one of those little, I don't know, use what you have. All right, so we're gonna blend all of that, and that's what's gonna be our marinade for the chicken. The chicken happens to just be the most technical part of the whole thing. Now, right here, I go kind of quick with this, but spatchcocking a chicken, and that's what this is called, is rather simple. It's just taking the spine out of the chicken and then breaking the bones in the breastbone for it to lay flat. My mom, she just recently, I think this past Thanksgiving, spatchcocked a couple of birds for their Thanksgiving meal over there at her house. And she say, son, if you ever get the chance to spatchcock you a bird, you go ahead and spatchcock you that bird. It's gonna be the best bird you had. She ain't lied, not gonna hold, she did not lie. But to spatchcock a bird, really simple. You're gonna want to lay your whole chicken, and this is after like you washed, cleaned it in whatever way that means to you. You're gonna wanna lay the chicken breast side down, and you're gonna wanna take a nice hefty pair of kitchen scissors, and you're gonna wanna right on the right side of the cavity or the left, it really doesn't matter. You're gonna wanna cut up the cavity on the side of the spine, all right? And it's gonna be kind of hard at first because you're gonna have to get through bones, so like you really need a hefty pair of scissors. And you're gonna cut all the way up until you get to the top, and then go around to the other side and cut all the way up until you pull the spine off. You're gonna wanna flip your bird around back to the other side, and almost like you're giving CPR, you're gonna wanna put your hands together like this and use the palm of your hand here to press down on the bird, and the bird's gonna lay flat. And I don't know what this does to the bird. Maybe it gives it a more even cook. I'm not a chef, I'm just the home cook, so I don't know. I'll leave that to more academic minds. But it does something for the bird, and it's totally necessary, and I totally recommend that you do it. If you don't, then that's fine, but I think that it's worth a try. Now, after you spatchcock this bird, you're gonna take your marinade. Actually, after you spatchcock your bird, the thing that I wish I would have done with this, because the recipe doesn't call for it, and then I'm a Boy Scout or whatever, season your bird, okay? In whatever way that means to you. You want that base level of seasoning to be down on your bird. Now, this recipe calls for the marinade to be able to be the seasoning that you need, but I think that you need to put seasoning down on this chicken before you put that marinade on. And it's namely because you want that bird to have flavor underneath. Now, it's gonna have the flavor of both of the sauces that we're gonna make. Believe me, and both of the sauces are good, but you're gonna wanna marinate the bird. So, marinate your bird, and you're gonna wanna get this marinade down all on top of the chicken and on the other side of the chicken. What's really important here is that you get your fingers in under the skin, and the skin's gonna be able to come up. Once you put your fingers in under the skin It's gonna come up. You're gonna get as much of that marinade under this bird as you possibly can. However, you're gonna wanna use about 60% of the marinade because the other 40% is gonna be used for a sauce later. So you're gonna wanna preheat your oven to about 475. You're gonna wanna get your bird, you're gonna wanna put it on a baking sheet. Now, I used a wire rack. Now, not everybody has a wire rack, and that's okay. You can just put it directly down on a baking sheet with some foil or something. Or some parchment paper. Like, I think that those two things are interchangeable, so you can really do whichever one. When you put your bird in the oven after it's preheated, you're gonna wanna put that bird in the oven for about 20 minutes, right? And that's the first cook. Then after that 20 minutes, you're gonna wanna turn down your oven to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you're gonna cook that bird for about 35 to 40 minutes after the fact. When the bird comes out of the oven, there's gonna be juices at the bottom of the pan. If the bird looks a little dry, that's fine. Like, this is mostly like me basting the juices on top for me to get this glow and this finish on top of it. So you want to get that up. If you don't have like a turkey baster or something like that, just remove it off the pan, the bird off the pan. You're gonna get a spoon or something and just ladle that juice over the top. Definitely necessary, definitely you want that flavor. So the bird is done, right? So you wanna take that peri sauce that you have, the rest of that marinade, and the only thing you need to do to that to make it into an edible, like, you know, nice little sauce, you're gonna wanna take like maybe a half cup of Greek yogurt and mix it in with the rest of that marinade, and then that sauce is done. Really nice, really good with the chicken. It's very worth it. And at the beginning of my short, that's that very first sauce that I dip into. Now, the second sauce is just a regular chimichurri sauce. You're gonna need olive oil, you're gonna need vinegar, oregano, you're gonna need garlic, salt, red chili flakes. You're gonna need some smoked paprika, and then you're gonna need parsley, about half a cup of that. And you're gonna blend that thing up, baby. Now, the thing about this is that it's very vinegar based, so just be aware that you're not gonna wanna put too much on if that's not your taste. Me personally, I love vinegar, so I'm gonna put, you know, you saw how I drenched that. I'm gonna put it up back here. See how I drenched that thing in that green sauce. The green sauce to me is very, very delicious. I trust that you will make it if it looks as good as it tasted to me. I don't know. So remember, my friends, you know how to cook. I truly believe that if you make this, you can show yourself that, oh, you know, I got it in me. Because you got it in you, friend. Believe that. I believe it. All right? Now, I'm sorry I don't post my recipes under my shorts, but my shorts aren't really about recipes. It is about food and expressing myself through that. It's mostly about storytelling. But here I want to be able to share my recipes with the recipes that I use with you all, obviously while giving all credits to the creators of it. And just being able to encourage you all to be able to do it. I'm not a chef. I'm not a professional. I'm a home cook. And believe me, I truly believe it. You know how to cook too. Thank you.